Millions of naira lost by individuals and the state government to the damage and looting carried out by rampaging youths on the 21st of October 2020. It was a very sad day for lots of Nigerians as they started to get calls of their stores being looted. On this episode of the show today, we will be talking to a number of people who lost their businesses to the looting. Welcome to Community Report on Channels Television. I'm Victoria IDOWU. On that day, Lagos State was held spellbound by rampaging youths in the days after the EndSARS protest, leaving many parts of the state with burnt buildings, looted shops and destroyed properties. For several hours, the hoodlums carried out attacks in different parts of the state and around the country, undisturbed by security agents. By Tuesday and Wednesday, not less than 27 buildings, including police stations, media houses, government secretariats and the courts were attacked and left in ruins. While taking records of the properties destroyed by the arsonist, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Lagos State Governor, said the level of destruction in the state can be compared to a war zone.
Seeing the amount of destruction on private properties, is enormous. It's enormous, So I think it's a conversation that we need to take forward, and we need to think through ourselves, We're just bleeding out of a budgetary, plan. Lagos had to reduce its budget this year, for example. There are no indications of any great, IGL next year, because of the pandemic. Businesses are just trying to come back, right? So where's the money going to come from? I don't have answers yet.
In what seemed like a coordinated attacks, rampaging youths in Lagos State continue their activities by going into personal-owned shops, destroying and carting away with goods and products. In ADENIKE ShopRite Mall, every single shop in use was looted and destroyed. The burgle started at about 1 a.m. on Wednesday morning.
I heard that this place was being vandalized or looted or burgled around 1 a.m. because someone in the platform, someone began to send a message that the help is needed at ADENIKE, and you know what it means. For instance, for those of us who are in the Apple retail franchise business, you know that one iPhone is over 500,000, and now during this is the season we stock up because we only have a small gap between November and this Black Friday sales and the rest of the things. So we just started bringing, and like a lot of after the coronavirus, Apple released some new MacBook Pro, so we just imported a lot of them and tried to stock up to avoid the end of the year rush. So virtually, it was not a funny experience that night. Two things: my product and that of our customers that we also have.
109 active shops in the mall looted, glasses broken, goods stolen. Looking at this footage, you would wonder whether this was a war zone.
I started to pray and I was hoping that they wouldn't come to my shop this time around, simply because what I sell is plus size clothing, and I was wondering what the value of what I sell would be to them. And I was just thinking and praying at the same time and hoping. And then on the Saturday we were allowed to, the incident happened on Wednesday. On the Saturday when we were eventually allowed to come into the shop, and I saw the amount of damage that was done in this mall. In fact, that day I almost passed out because I was thinking to myself, where would I really start from?
Also among the shops boggled is Bloomingdale's, an outfit that prides itself as selling high-quality end fashion for less.
I started Bloomingdale's actually way back in England, just as a hobby. I was like a personal shopper to women around Muswell Hill. And I officially opened Bloomingdale's store in Nigeria in 2005. We started out with one store. Now we have a couple. We have here in Surulere and we have in Lekki.
Seeing the extent of the damage done, a lot of pain and confusion is felt, especially with the knowledge that security operatives could do nothing.
The criminals are not interested in protest. They go to the malls. Those are the targets. And you did not even think of securing the malls. You know that's where they go to. That's their number one target.
I want to get the police. But when you get to Bode Thomas Police Station, you yourself will have nothing to say because the police were not even there they already knew what happened. They were overwhelmed. Only few of them were on ground, and you could see quite a number of people in this mall bombarding them at that moment.
The loss incurred by the shop owners run into millions of naira.
At least the 2020 MacBook Pros that we had, at least the goods that were looted here would be over 40 million. At least on the average, if we are to say, we don't want to even exaggerate on the average, because like the 2020 iMacs we had here and the MacBook Pros and alone should be well over 30 million.
From the stock I've taken so far, some I can't even remember yet because I'm still going through my stock book. But so far, goods worth over 15 million have calculated that are already gone, that I cannot even see.
I lost probably over 12 million. I had a lot of cash in the drawer. I had some personal belongings. Then the merchandise.
At this point, insurance would have been a form of cushion to fall back on, but that's not the case here.
We do have insurance, but one of the things we realized, like the insurance said, that things like this are force majeure and they can only be covered under special peril. But under fire and the regular fire and burglary insurance we do not cover things like this.
And while trying to pick up the pieces of what's left, they're hoping for some intervention.
In recouping now, I know that yes, quite a number of friends are trying to rally around me at this moment, rallying around us, and the Lagos State government also came, promising that they would do something. They took some stocks and everything, but we are hoping that the Lagos State government will really fulfill their promises because people's livelihood has been affected.
First and foremost, the government has to reimburse us in some way. I mean, reimbursing people that have shops in a mall is not rocket science. There's a mall structure. There's a management in place. The numbers are there. The tenants are there. All they need to do is liaise with the mall management, ask for the names and account numbers of tenants. If it's 1 million you want to give.
They owe it to us to pay us, to compensate us for what has happened. We've lost business. For how long now we've not been operating? Look at it. Nothing is happening. I came in here from England with my money, my hard-earned money, to invest here.
Right now, business owners are trying to clean up what's left of their shop.
So what I've started doing now is all the glass fittings that were broken. I mean, I have to put all that back. My racks have to come back before I even start thinking of stocking.
Owning a shop anywhere requires spending a lot of cash, and losing all of that and not being able to do anything about it can be very devastating. Right now, this looks like starting all over again.
Aside even all the things they stole, the most painful thing is the feeling of being violated. You know, that's so enraging that they just came from nowhere and they felt they could just, come in and break the glass, break my drawer, steal everything, my merchandise, everything.
For these business owners who have lost everything, it is expected that for them, some people should be held responsible.
Our government has failed us, both at the federal and at the state level. Government has failed us. This is a result of a lot of uneducated people, hungry people, and angry people. Those are the three categories of people I see.
Empty shelves, empty angers. Bloomingdale's CEO SADE SALAMI is obviously angry at the system, and she demands justice.
I really want the police to be able to do something, but I don't know. I couldn't say. Are they going to be able to arrest those people? Are they even passionate about justice? Because you should be, as a police officer, you should want to, catch these criminals. You should be able to, you should have a passion for arresting and getting them out of society.
This is what Claire's place used to look like. This is what it looks like now. A shadow of itself. It's one of the places burnt by the rampaging youths on the 21st of October. This used to be a shopping complex owned by Adibe. Counting his losses, he says the impacts cannot be quantified.
We got this place 6 years ago from the bank that sold it. It took us like 8 months to put it to where it is before they got it burnt down. It houses the electronics shop on the ground floor and our own products, which is the tiles, jacuzzis, and gully that we sell. So it's a complex because it's not only us that are occupying this place.
No one ever thinks a situation like this could come close to home.
Because I believe that my area, that we are okay. That's the way I look at it. But at the same time, I've come to realize that Harmattan, when it blows everybody. Whether you are in your house, whether you are secured, or anywhere, it touches everybody.
Hearing from the situation from his security guards, he says he did what he could to stop it, but his best was not enough.
One of my security people called me around, say, 9 o'clock, thereabout, and told me that they are noticing people gathering, shouting, and every other thing. So I tried to see if I can reach out with the police or anybody security-wise, but nothing really happened. I tried my best, yes, and I don't know what I could have done.
And after the call to security failed, resignation to fate is all that's left.
If I can't get the security people, the police, what else do I do? And I'm being restricted from coming out from my house. Even if I'm allowed, I can't come out to face 2,000 men. It's not possible.
Adibe says this is 35 years of hard work gone down the drain. The pain, he says, cannot be expressed in words.
I felt very bad because we are talking about a 35 years hard work with God's grace. I've been on this business since 1985. And I believe so many people that knows me know how I struggled. And with the help of people, good people around, I was able to get to where I am.
The deed has been done, he says. Now it's time to heal, and he remains hopeful.
I have hope that God that allowed this to happen has a better thing for me. And I have hope in Nigerians because I know they will come to my aid.
Usually hazards like this are taken care of by insurance, but unfortunately, his case is different.
I had insurance, but unfortunately, I pay quarterly. And I was supposed to pay September for the next quarter. I didn't remember, and the insurance too, they didn't remember to inform me. So when this thing happened, and I wrote to them, they said I'm not covered. I've been insuring with them for the past 15 years.
His faith in God at this time is what he says has kept him and his family through this devastating situation.
I thank God that my family, especially my wife, she's able to, I don't know, because even me, I don't even know how I took the news. I don't know how I'm able to talk. I don't know how I'm able to walk around and still speak to people. But the only thing I know is just God. Because God has already let us, he made us, he told us something in the Bible. He said something, he said, he will not allow anything that is more than us to come to us. In the sense that he has already prepared us, one way or the other, for this challenge.
Getting this building back to what it used to be will take a lot of work and money.
If I am able to get a loan from the bank or from anybody to be able to build back my business, I believe within a very short time we'll be able to pay back the loan and we'll get back to shape, and that is it.
He takes us round what is left of the facility. The hoodlums carted away with everything and left only a few items before burning the place. The main building was not the only thing burnt. His generators were burnt and even his warehouse. This is SAS Textile, or at least what is left of it.
There used to be a glass here.
Broken glasses shattered around, doors destroyed, CCTV cameras destroyed, products stolen. The story keeps pouring in.
On that Tuesday night, the night of the shootings, I got a call about 8 o'clock that they were shooting in Hobmat, were the opposite to us, But, I never imagined that they will break into our stores, But the next thing, the way social media is, I just saw a video and I saw a picture of our store. By then, my worst fears were concerned.
By the next morning, finding a solution is the next action plan.
Wednesday morning, we're trying to get a grip of ourselves. Okay, so how do we manage? The shop is exposed. By then, we heard that Lekki was still very volatile. There was no way I could come to the island. How do we secure what was left of our store? And we said, okay, let's get a carpenter to board it up, Now, we thought that was like a solution, only for the carpenter to call us at 4 o'clock and he said, there's no way I can get to Admiralty from Jakonde. I tried to call everybody I knew. There was no way. It was really sad, and the only thing I knew to do was to pray.
And this is not the only store she has lost. Her shop in Surulere was also looted.
Only for 30 minutes after, we now get a call that they've broken into ShopRite. I didn't know Ogunsanya Mall, and I was like, okay. So we called the DPO, we called the police, Nobody could do anything. We were totally helpless, I mean, the story continues. It's a story I don't like to remember.
Again, one would expect anger, but for TOYIN, it's not time to blame anyone, but time to wake up as a people and as a nation.
When this thing happens, it's like a wake-up call. First of all, there's so much hunger in the land and the people are angry. I'm not trying to justify what they did. What they did was evil. What they did was wicked. Looting people's goods, our sweat.
Thinking about the loss so far.
When I think of what we have lost, I don't want to think about it. I think of a lot of people's fabrics, our own fabrics. Every day we're still discovering more and more. Every day we're still discovering more and more, you know. Things in reservation, documents, they scattered everywhere. They carried us safe. They took whatever they could take.
It's time to move forward. It's time to take security more seriously.
Immediately this happened, I gathered everyone in our mall, you know, and I said we needed to come together because we need to take security into our hands, you know. I know it's God that keeps, but at the same time, we made it so easy for them because of all this glass, you know. But we're saying enough is enough.
And with 3 stores hit, the founder of Rough and Tumble, Adenike Ogunlesi, tells us how she felt when she heard of the looting.
3 outlets were looted. 1 was burnt to cinders with nothing, totally unrecognizable. I felt a cocktail of emotions for many various reasons. And as many are like me who went through the same thing, we're actually part of the solution. We are not the problem.
Hearing about the news spurred her to think more of a solution than the problem.
Not again. Because during the xenophobic attacks, our store was completely looted. Mannequins damaged, everything, you know, in Shogotedo, in the Novare Mall. And my first reaction was, not again, not again. But then I thought, so where is this going? This is the second time. It was worse than the first time. So what are we going to do about this? Where do we pick up from this? And the first thing that came to my mind was, you know what? E-commerce, now you were running at maybe 75 kilometers per hour. Now you've got to run at 1,000 kilometers per hour. Now you've got to get on with that, get it up, running. We were already shipping to different parts of the world, but we need to build critical mass. We need to refine the customer experience so that there's no friction. We need to ensure the right assortment is online. So I put my energy into something positive because that's the way I know how to react to things.
And for her, the situation raises several questions.
And the bigger question is the social question. You know, if this happens a 3rd time, what happens? We have such a fragile piece right now, you know, very fragile. So what happens? Businesses are part of the solution. We are not part of the problem, but we're sitting ducks and sitting targets. Because I don't have mopo with guns outside my office or outside any of my stores. So we have to create a society where everybody feels secure and feels safe.
I ask, who takes responsibility for it?
I think we're all responsible. And I'm tired of blaming. You know, because blaming just is so negative and blaming just does not move you forward. What we need to do as a nation is come to the table, sit together, heal. Talk about our differences. Talk about our strengths. Heal ourselves and move forward. Heal. We have to heal.
And then we try to rationalize the actions of these hoodlums.
It's a lack of exposure. It's a lack of education. What is the kind of schools that they went to? What kind of education do they have? What is their thinking pattern? They are as much victims as we all are. Even so, more so them. What is the quality of education that they have had? So how do they think? You have to ask, we created them by default or intentionally, but we are responsible.
Mrs. Ogunlesi believes that we as a people need to do more and find a solution to the problem because everyone will at one point feel the heat.
And it's never been a better time to come to the table to have sincere conversations. I can't blame them. I'm sorry. I can't. I really can't blame them. I can't. They're victims. Where did they grow up? Some of them are sleeping under the bridge. Do you know when they last ate? Whoever showed them love? Have you ever seen the children that live under the bridge? Or children that are living along Morocco in tires, in homes made out of tires? Have you ever seen that? No. If you see that, you do not have any moral obligation to blame anybody. You should do something about it.
These are just a handful of people who have gone through this situation, and they are calling on the government and well-meaning Nigerians to help to restore them back to what they used to be. And that's our stop today. It's really been a sad story. And to put it in context, there are much more people who have lost their sources of livelihood in this past weeks. We can only pray and hope for an intervention for them so that they can bounce back. Thank you so much for watching. If you missed any part of the show, you can check it on our YouTube channel. You can also send your comments to the social media handles showing on your screen. I'm Victoria. IDOWU. It's bye for now.